Welcome back to Broad Concepts in Audio. My name is James Dunlap. I'm an instructor at Wright State University, and I'm the house sound guy at the beautiful Phrase Pavilion, and 20 plus years of doing audio all over the United States. So this video, we're going to go through methods of time alignment, and in one of my theaters, and the hopes that you can use this stuff that we're talking about, my venue, in your venue, and we can help each other with tricks of the trade. Please don't be shy to use the comment section. I love to hear ideas, and I love to hear different rabbits that can get pulled out of hats. And I use a lot of that stuff to adapt these videos and adapt the instructions that I do use for my instruction, and that I can change the videos and move the videos and evolve into better ideas. So one of the concepts that I'm always in conversation about with either people that I'm going into their theater or they're coming into my theater or my venue is this idea of time alignment. I'm fascinated by it because in my brain, that's one of the things that separates the beginner level from where we're at. And it's this idea of using time to create this kind of magic, especially with imaging, that we're going to really kind of dig in today. We're not going to get too technical, but the ideas and the broad concepts are there. And my hope is that you'll walk away with some new ideas of your own, and that you can put these into practice into your venue and where you're at. And really, the most important thing before we get started is the idea of compromise. Compromise to me is what this video is all about. It's all about decision making. It's all about compromising. It's this level where we need to sit in a seat. We have to imagine ourselves as an audience member, and we have to get to work on making the decisions and getting the compromise so that every seat in the house gets this full audio intelligibility. So let's get started. This is an overview of our theater. The purpose of this picture is to remind us not just how complicated our system is, but how important our role of decision maker and compromiser is. We represent what the audience hears, and we're making that decision. This view gives us an idea of horizontal coverage. This picture gives us a better idea of vertical coverage. Here you can see where the main speaker coverage ends and the fills are needed. Underneath the balcony, above the balcony, and of course, as we've already decided, we're going to use the front fills to just cover the front row. Now, in your venue, it may be different. You may need to cover the second row too. If you start to get into covering the third row with front fills, you may want to rethink your design because you may be blowing people up in the front row to try to get past them. So let's simplify to just the orchestra section, and now let's just zoom in on the front row here. Let's take a look at first aligning the front fills. When considering the volume level for front fills, we have to determine and decide the area of exposure. Again, compromise is important because the people seated directly in front of these will get a little more amplitude than the people next to them. And understand that for every seat in the house, you're going to have a different sound. And that's why we keep talking about this compromiser position. So I always start with the human voice in the main speakers first, and I get that set and I leave it. And if you need to change that later, that's fine, because any adjustments you make will affect all the fills too. And again, remember, those seated on axis of the speaker are getting more amplitude. So try to work, off of the axis, and that's kind of this area here. And again, work in this context of compromise. It's important to think about time alignment in front fills as in terms of imaging. When we talk about imaging, we talk about aligning what you're hearing to what you're seeing. And the quick horizontal image to think about is if you're in the audience and someone is on the right side of the stage, house right side of the stage, you want to be able to hear it coming from the house right side of the stage. You don't want to hear it coming straight out of the left speaker. That is imaging. But there's also vertical imaging too, especially in the front rows. Those who are affected by the front fills are close enough to the stage to really feel the effects of this good imaging. And it really is the coolest part, the ability to use time to steer that image in space. It's really amazing once you get into it. Let's look at the time difference and try to make decisions as to create the desired outcome. Remember, it's always about desired outcome. As we shift this view a little, the little X here is going to represent the distance arcs of the main speakers. So we're going to do this little arc here. And if both speakers are at an equal perceptible amplitude, if they're at the same volume, then whichever speaker is closer in time will become the dominant image. So if both speakers read 85 dB SPL in the front row with no delay processing, the front speaker will hold the dominant image because it arrives first. Now, had that been the front fill placed physically behind that X spot there, if we move this all the way back to here, then your image would go to above because that image would hit you first. So we already did our distance measurements to the mains, and we find a good starting point. How do we do that? We used some Pythagorean theorem, and we're going to figure out what that distance is. We're going to subtract the distance to our fill speaker. And in this case, let's say it's 6 feet away. So that gets you a total gap of about 19 feet. It's a good place to start when adding our delay. And at this point, I want you to pause the video and I want you to decide, this is our little quiz here, which signal will get the delay? Which signal are we putting it on the mains or are we putting it on the front fills? Pause here, think about it, and come back. Okay, welcome back. Now, if you said the front fills were correct, believe it or not, sometimes people get that wrong. Because it may seem like a simple answer, but it's also a simple mistake, and it can lead to a lot of unneeded troubles. So I want to revisit this main section here because it's important to note that the purpose for our fill speakers is to supplement the main speakers. If you don't process the fill speakers with proper delay and EQ, then you'll end up with this multiple speaker system hitting everywhere at different times, creating unwanted reverberation and unintelligibility kind of in spots where you don't want it to be. So the last stage of our process, going back to this, is our fine-tuning the delay. So you got to use your ears for this. You're going to sit in the measurement seat you have. You got to decide on the correct measurement seat, and you can move around a little bit to get your compromise. And with your remote control for your processor, or you can use an assistant at the control, you're going to set the volume of the front fill speaker to match the volume in the mains, so that you can just when you hear those front fill speakers just above the mains, that's where you want to stop. The input starting point delay, and now in this case 19 feet, about 21 milliseconds, and then you're going to sweep that time closer and farther until the signal hits right on the image point. So that's the neatest part about that. When this thing hits, it's going to blow your mind how right on the money you can be with this time delay. And I want to just draw this a little bit. This delay here would be a correct delay where you would hear both, which would means if you're hearing both in the same time, your imaging is going to go right between them. You can try it on your left and right speakers if you ever want to try it in just that. Put a left and a right speaker and put the time delay of the left speaker differently, and your imaging will go to the right speaker. It's pretty interesting. Now, remember, as we're looking at this, every seat in the house has a different time zone, and each seat is a different distance to the speakers, so you're not going to have an exact correct measurement for every seat in the house, which is why we go back again to this idea of compromise. That's front fills. Front fills, and that technique can be used for balcony fills, for under balcony fills. There's plenty of ways to do this, and I'm sure that you have your own ideas, and I'm sure that you have your own methods. I would love it if you would comment and let me know what some of your tricks of the trade. I'm always enthusiastic about trying new things, and I hope that you go out and you try these methods too. And really, the whole point of this thing, of course, is compromise, but it's about learning how to make decisions and learning how to compromise. So time needs to be spent in practice. You have to go into your theater. You have to sit back. You have to either take somebody to help you do controls or get a remote control system to work with your system, and really just sit and work with this stuff and kind of come up with your best methods. You'll find along the way that you're going to come up with different things that you haven't thought about or I haven't thought about. And then, of course, again, let's do a little assessment. Did you learn that we need to do this in order to get proper intelligibility at all the seats? Yes. Is it more important to compromise and to have good intelligibility of all the seats? Or is it more important to have exactly perfect at one particular measurement seat? I think we know the answer to that. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks for watching. Take care.